Our goals and expectations for 2017 are to compete well in our non-conference schedule. We always play a tough non-conference schedule, and this year's no exception to that. So we have a lot of key matchups in early September that are kind of going to dictate the flow of how the season goes. Once we get into our conference schedule, the lineup is different than it was last year, so I think having the players adjust to playing different teams at different points in the year might be tough for them, but we obviously want to perform well during our conference slate, give ourselves a chance to make conference playoffs, and then win the conference tournament and make as deep a run into NCAAs as possible. Our key returners for 2017 include senior Cassie Garrison. She's a middle hitter. She's been on the floor since she was a freshman. She's been a really large part of both our defense and our offense as a middle. Our senior libero, Shay Murphy, is back. She's currently out of commission. She's injured right now, but we expect her to be making some big contributions once she's back to the team. Other starters from last year's team include sophomore Grace Polisano, who was second on the team in kills in 2016. She's a sophomore. And sophomore Christine Yu, who is a middle hitter for us as well. So our freshman class is the largest class that we've ever had. There are 9 freshmen on the team, and they're replacing a very large senior class that we just graduated in 2017. So we expect quite a few of them to compete for playing time. Every single one of the kids from the top of the class to the bottom of the class can play. So at this point, we're not sure that we can isolate one particular kid and say, oh, she's definitely going to play. But we feel that it's a very strong class. It's a very strong class defensively. So when I look at all the different positions, one thing that stands out about each player is that she focuses on defense and is very good at that. But we feel that, regardless of whether these players are going to be seeing playing time, they're going to make our practices better because their skill level is so high. Last year's senior class was one of the best classes that we've ever had, both in terms of depth, talent, leadership. I think the toughest challenge for this team will be to make up for that leadership. Obviously, replacing our starting setter, our starting libero, and our starting outside hitter puts us in a challenging position. I think that we have the talent to do that, but what will really dictate how we play and how successful we are is going to be more leadership in practices, discipline off the court, and I'll really be looking to my juniors and seniors and even my sophomores to help make sure that our freshmen are on board with what we're trying to accomplish. Our non-conference schedule in September is pretty competitive. We're playing, I think, 10 teams that were regionally ranked last year, and then there are 8 NCAA tournament teams from 2016 on our schedule. So in September, we're playing against Messiah, opening weekend. We play against Lebanon Valley College on the second weekend. We play at Ithaca College the third weekend. We'll also get to play against Mary Washington, who made the Elite Eight last year. And then once we get into conference play, all of those games are important. One of the things that I've been thinking a lot about is how strong our conference is going to be this year. We're kind of on an upward trend where every year we're creeping up on the other conferences in our region. And I know that my fellow coaches in the conference did a great job with recruiting. So we're expecting that the teams who maybe finished out of the playoff race last year are going to be much stronger contenders this year. So we're preparing our players in such a way that they know that everyone's going to be breathing down our necks and nothing is going to be handed to them. So we also get to travel up to Juniata College in October to play against Juniata and Susquehanna. They're both really great teams. So the schedule is packed with great teams, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the girls react to that. So something that's exciting this year is that our program is celebrating its 45th anniversary. Volleyball was the first varsity sport for women at F&M, and we're really honored to be celebrating our 45th anniversary. So over homecoming weekend this year, we're going to be inducting a new class into our Volleyball Hall of Fame. We call it the Court of Honor. So we're very excited to see the members of the 1993 team, who were the first conference championship team. Steve Colson, who was the coach of that team, will also be inducted. Megan Godorov, who was the first libero to ever be named to an all-conference team. Margot Phelan, who was the program's first All-American. And then Trish Voss, who was our first academic All-American and Williamson medalist. So the theme this year for our Court of Honor is kind of like the trailblazers, the people who did things first, who kind of led the way for everybody else to be able to follow behind them. So we'll be having a really big celebration. We'll be having a dinner the Saturday night of homecoming, and that will match up with us being able to play at home and celebrating our seniors. So I think that homecoming is going to be a really exciting weekend for the program.